The officer accompanying me was laying on the floor, blood flowing out of her eye, moaning in pain. A man wearing a police uniform stood next to him, motionless, a kitchen knife dripping in his hand. No, not a man. A statue of Jesus Christ. The statue stabbed my hand through the bars, and I instinctively retreated to the back of the cell, the adrenaline stopping me from feeling most of the pain. The statue pulled my head back, and when it was ready to burn the right side of my face, I heard a shotgun firing, and then I was suddenly thrown back to the floor. My left eye had literally fused together with my skin.
Oh my God.
I cried in pain, asking him how Christ could be so cruel. Welcome to another episode of Drawing and Telling Horror Stories with Mr. Beast. Today we have what appears to be the last part of statues of Jesus destroying my family. We did part 1 and 2 not so long ago, and now we have part 3, where I finally get my revenge. That being said, let's rock and roll, guys. The Diaries of Delacroix said that when the Diesel family went to apologize in the Loire River, the curse struck like never before. I knew it could happen to me, but I did not imagine the extent. On my second day arrested, while I waited that Hudson secured my release, I had to go to the bathroom. After finishing my necessities, I was accompanied back to my provisional cell, which was located on the end of a claustrophobic corridor of empty cells. And then, as I was walking, the lights went out. The guard accompanying me turned on her flashlight and pointed to the corridor, illuminating the way to my cell. I made my way back, and when I approached the already open cell door, I heard something dropping to the floor behind me. The light disappeared. I looked back. The lights on the ceiling started flashing as I heard the police station generator being turned on outside the building. The officer accompanying me was laying on the floor, blood flowing out of her eye, moaning in pain. A man wearing a police uniform stood next to him, motionless, a kitchen knife dripping in his hand. No, not a man. A statue of Jesus Christ. I quickly entered one of the cells as the footsteps quickly approached, and then I searched the door for any lock I could activate to keep the thing out. Of course it wouldn't work, I didn't have the key. The statue stabbed my hand through the bars, and I instinctively retreated to the back of the cell, the adrenaline stopping me from feeling most of the pain. I gripped my hand trying to stop the blood. Only later I would realize I was now missing a pinky.
Oh God.
The lights turned back on, and I saw the serene, emotionless stare of Jesus as the statue got closer to me. And then, 3 shots. The statue fell on the floor, its limbs contorting and breaking even more in the process. Thanks Christ, it was a porcelain statue. The guard, covering her still bleeding face, told me to flee before they returned and that she now believed me. Only a few hours before, I had tried telling her how the statues of Jesus would try to kill me and anyone who stood on the way. She called me batshit insane and a Satanist. I guess Jesus statues trying to kill you aren't so hard to believe in when they are actually there trying to kill you. Luckily for me, the rest of the police station seemed to be empty, so I was easily able to get outside. Whatever happened to the other policemen? I prefer to think they had gone outside to fix the lightning. And not that several policemen were dead because of me. Outside it was still dark, but I knew the sun would soon rise. As soon as I got to the street, a car hit me. I fell to the floor, my entire body aching, my head throbbing, and my ears buzzing. I was still catatonic as the driver came out and dragged me by the hair to the car. Another statue came out of the vehicle and opened the hood. Although the car was parked, the engine had been left running. The driver's statue grabbed my hair and pressed the left side of my face against the engine. And I must say, nothing ever hurt me as much as that. The statue pulled my head back, and when it was ready to burn the right side of my face, I heard a shotgun firing, and then I was suddenly thrown back to the floor. I heard a car door opening, a shotgun firing, and then when I opened my remaining eye, I saw Father Hudson, the shotgun still in his hand, coming towards me and helping me pick myself up. He told me that the court had approved my release, but there would be more time for that later. We needed to get to the beach my great-grandfather used to dump the bodies as soon as possible. I sat on the passenger seat of Father Hudson's car, and he put some bandage on my hand to stop the bleeding. I took a quick glimpse at myself on the mirror as the priest started driving. No matter how many expensive surgeries I went through, that I would never be able to pay in the first place, I would never get rid of those horrible scars. My left eye had literally fused together with my skin.
Oh my God.
I cried in pain, asking him how Christ could be so cruel. Father Hudson said that these murderous statues were not related at all to God or his creations. In his opinion, this curse was a satanic creation by priests that were not able to forgive those who killed them and thus broke their Christian vows, causing the demonic curse that had destroyed so many lives. As the Bible says, even the devil likes to disguise as an angel of light. I don't know if he was right. If the statues are actually demons or manifestations of a cruel god, or maybe both of those don't exist, but the curse does. In the end, it didn't matter. What mattered is that I needed to face the errors of my bloodline's past and make amends. Suddenly, I noticed a truck following the car and gaining speed. Hudson started going faster in response. Soon, we were reading 120 km/h in a street that the limit was 70. We lost the truck, but we didn't have time to celebrate as the father lost control of the car and we spun around the road, before finally crashing the back of the car into a bus. The car was dead, but we were alive. We left the car behind and decided to go the rest of the way on foot, to the anger of the bus driver, who came out of the bus to insult us. We didn't have time to apologize, so we just ran off towards the beach. After some minutes of running like I had never done before, and that somehow Hudson was running like a casual Saturday jog. I could already feel the sea breeze and the sand reaching my damaged skin. But there was no time for pain complaints. As we crossed the final street and finally stepped on the sand, I heard a distant gunshot. Immediately after, Abraham grabbed me and threw himself with me on the floor. He told me that was a hunting rifle. I asked him how did he know, and he told me he had trained with several weapons due to his demon hunting activities. Before I could ask any other question, I heard another shot and saw the bullet perforating some sand less than 5 feet from where I was. I had to get moving fast. Hudson told me to keep going as he got himself up, firmly gripped the shotgun, and ran as fast as he could towards the direction where the gunshots were coming from. I then heard shooting of both the shotgun and the rifle before they both stopped. I picked myself up and stumbled towards the direction I knew my great-grandfather had dumped the bodies. After the dictatorship fell, when its crimes finally became public, some of the corpses' dumping grounds were made known to the public, and small ceremonial crosses were installed on them. Ceremonial crosses that thankfully had no images of Jesus. Or so I thought. As I approached the spot, a clearing among the bushes and palm trees, I saw a cross with a figure of Jesus. I watched as the image removed itself from the cross and began running towards me. It was a small one. The 30-centimeter Jesus somehow produced a small knife and started cutting my leg. I quickly grabbed the statue and broke it limb by limb, until it couldn't move anymore. I got closer to the burial ground and saw a plaque inscribed with names of several victims. Most of them, no doubt, killed by my great-grandfather. Behind me, I could hear the truck that was previously chasing us throughout the city streets crashing into the beach sand, and its doors opening. I looked back. 6 man-sized Jesus were getting out of the truck and running in my direction, all carrying melee weapons. It was going to be a very violent death. So I kneeled before the memorial and apologized for my great-grandfather's actions. I apologized for all he did, and I promised that his crimes would not ever be forgiven or forgotten. That as long as I lived, I would come there annually and apologize. Not only as an apology, but to make sure the memory of those who died because of his actions were not forgotten. I had doubts that it would work, but it did. When I looked back again, the Jesus statues were gone and only the truck remained. I saw Father Abraham Hudson walking back towards me. His arm was bleeding and he had tied his cassock around it as a tourniquet. No doubt he had been shot. I thanked him with my last remaining strength. On the horizon, the sun was finally rising. I was finally free. I lay on the ground and looked at the clear sky. For the first time in years, I could rest without fear.